Welcome. Vlog number 10, 11, something like that. I think it's 10. Alright, but tonight is SummerSlam. Don't know what SummerSlam is? That is wrestling. I've been a huge fan of wrestling for as long as I can remember. So, I've actually been out running a bunch of errands and doing everything I can so that tonight, around 7 o'clock, I think is when the pre-show starts, I can actually not worry about... I don't understand why kids are doing this. Alright, but... So at 7 o'clock, the pre-show starts, and I want to actually watch it. So, because there's actually... I've missed a few things in the show. So, what they do is they kind of give the backstory of what's going on, why these two people are fighting, things like that. So, that's the reason why I want to see what to get back for the pre-show. But I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with that. It's now 3 o'clock. But actually, today's vlog is probably going to be wrestling centric. So if you're not a big fan of wrestling, you might want to go ahead and skip this one, because I'll probably actually not doing anything else. But right after this, you're probably going to see me after the show and giving you a synopsis of what I thought. Recently the shows have been kind of but they're starting to get better. They did a brand split, and I'm kind of liking the way they're going right now. But hope y'all enjoy.
Hello. Sorry it's so dark, but my son just woke up as soon as SummerSlam ended, and I wanted to talk before it got too late, because it's like midnight already. So the light that you see is actually my TV behind my camera shining on me. So this is a very impromptu video. I wanted to kind of talk about some of the matches and everything, and I'm trying to find, because I want to go in the order the matches are. So I'm on my phone here. I'm looking at the actual order, and because like the first match I believe was, okay, overall I thought it was an okay show. They had, there's some things I didn't like, but overall I thought it was pretty good. But I do wish that they would have done some other things. So first, we had the match with Enzo Big Cass versus, forgetting everybody's name, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. I thought that the match was okay. It was, I mean, it was the opening match, so it wasn't like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing. But it was a pretty good match. But I do think that Enzo and Big Cass should have won. I'm not sure why they put like this impromptu tag team. They had them win, but because like Enzo and Big Cass kind of are their actual tag team, they need wins in it. But however, I don't know what their plan is for everything. So next, I think it was the Sasha Banks versus Charlotte match. I do believe that Charlotte should not have won. I believe Sasha Banks should have retained the title, because they had Sasha win it on Raw but lose it as the next pay-per-view. I mean, they're going to have a rubber band match again to where Sasha and Charlotte fight again, but I think it should just been, I think Sasha should have just won, and then they could have done a rematch between the two. And if they wanted Charlotte to keep it, then they could have let Charlotte win then. But I don't know. I think it was just a little bit too. Right now, the titles I think are changing hands too much. Okay. And after that was The Miz versus Apollo Creed. The match is pretty good. The Miz isn't one of my favorite characters, but he's a great character that you love to hate, because he's like this jerk. He was on one of those MTV shows. I can't remember if it's Real World or Road Rules or one of those. He was on that, and you just want to see him beat up. And right now they're holding that from you. So But so the Miz won, so I think that's actually pretty good because people can come back to actually say, I want to see this guy get his butt kicked. But the match is pretty good. I mean, Apollo Creed is really athletic, and I really liked seeing him. And I was like, wow, that is actually awesome. He's actually a guy I've been excited to see on the main roster instead of NXT. Okay. After that was the AJ Styles versus John Cena match. Drove me nuts because my dogs wanted to go outside right at the beginning of this match. I'm like, this is one of the two matches I really wanted to see tonight. So I had to take my dogs out and miss like the first 5-10 minutes of it. But when I got back and watched it, it was a great match. AJ Styles coming on top, and I couldn't say that. I mean, what I watched of it was really good. And then at the end of it, it's almost like John Cena retired. I don't know if that's true or not, but the way he was in the middle of the ring, he took off that never give up armband, looked at it, kissed it, put it in the middle of the floor or the middle of the ring, and then walked out and saluted the crowd. I was like, this may be John Cena's retirement match, but they're just not telling anybody. Or maybe he's going to take a big long break. I'm not sure, but it did seem like it was kind of like a retirement match. Okay, then after that, it was the New Day versus Gallows and Anderson, and it was really, the match was good. I think I wish they would just stop bringing what's his name? The guy that was on the Daily Show. John something. My brain's like right now. It doesn't say on this. John Stewart. That's his name. He was like out there with New Day and everything. Like they had Big E was hurt, and so John Stewart was filling in for him. Basically, because like in New Day, there's 3 members, and one of them stands at ringside, kind of like a cheerleader or manager or whatever. So he was doing that, and then I don't like the gimmick finishes, I guess what you'd call it, basically, because this was a DQ. There was no, like, Gallows and Anderson should have won it, but for some reason these 2 wrestlers want to beat up on John Stewart instead of actually winning the match. So then Big E comes out, hits him, and gets New Day disqualified, so they retain the titles. That, I was kind of like, yeah, I didn't like that. But maybe they had a big plan for this, like a rivalry between the two teams for quite some time. Okay. Then we went to Dean Ambrose, Dolph Ziggler. I don't know. Dolph Ziggler's kind of hit or miss with me. So, I mean, he's a good fighter, and he's a good entertainer. But just the way he acts when acts like he's hurt or something, can't do something, like he just drags his body around. It's a little overboard for me. It just seems like it's a little much. So, and Dean Ambrose, I think it's still a little too soon for him. I think him around having the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title would be good, but not the WWE title, because I think he's still a little bit. Some of the things he doesn't seem right on it. But Dean Ambrose won. The whole finish, the jumping off the ropes and he catches him, does the DDT. I was kind of like, it was okay. Some things happened I don't know if maybe the timing was off on it or something, but just didn't look right to me. And after that match, we had the 6-woman tag team match between Mick Foley's daughter, which I cannot remember her name right now. Oh gosh, the Irish Lass Kicker. Can't remember her name right now. And oh gosh, I can't remember her name. The girl that used to be in the Funkadelics. But Naomi. Yeah, Naomi's entrance was awesome. I mean, black lights and her dancing, everything. I was like, holy cow, like the glasses, it looked awesome. But then the lights came up and you saw her outfit, and I was like, that is the goofiest looking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just like it's from her neck all the way down to her feet. It was like all these funky colors. I was like, all right, but the whole thing just didn't. It just looked really goofy to me. And then it was versus Natalia, a new girl that I'm not familiar with. I think she came up from NXT, and Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella's back from her neck injury, and I was like, oh wow, that's cool. She had, I can't remember, some kind of a neck surgery. I can't remember if she had some vertebrae fused or what it was, but she did. She actually won the match. She changed her finish move. She used to get them up into a torture rack and then drop to her knees. That's probably too stressful on her neck. So it looked like she put them up on her, she put them in more of a fireman's carry instead of a torture rack. If you're not a wrestling fan, it's basically the difference between a person's on their side or they're laying like, literally like how a fireman would carry you out of a burning building. And she kind of like tossed them around kind of like into a cutter, like diamond cutter, Stone Cold Stunner, RKO type move. Depends on which person uses it. They usually call it a cutter. And she won the match for him. She didn't do a lot in the match, but Mick Foley's daughter did pretty good for somebody that's, I don't think she's ever wrestled in any other organization, but she looked pretty good. She just needs a bit more practice. That was actually a pretty good match. The women's match was really good between Sasha and Charlotte. I really enjoyed it. I meant to say that earlier, but the women's matches are getting better than some of the men's matches now. Let's see. After that, we had the other match that I really wanted to see, was Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. And about 5 minutes into the match, my dogs wanted to go outside again, and I was like, I'll take you out as soon as this match is over. I'm watching this match. But Finn Balor came out in his Demon King get up to where he paints his face to where, like, if he does this, looks like the demon's mouth is closed. If he does this, it, like, because it has teeth and everything down here, it looks like it's open. Really cool costume. His entrance is one of the best I've seen. And this is like his second or third match in WWE since he came from NXT, and like the entire crowd is behind him already. And he's awesome. Really good athlete. Really good match. And Finn Balor won the first Universal Champion. He's the first Universal Champion in WWE, which I think is the dumbest name for a title. I hope they just get rid of it soon or change it. They should just call it the WWE Raw Champion. They should just call Dean Ambrose the WWE SmackDown Champion, because this Universal Champion is stupid. I hate the name of it. And the red belt looks horrible. I mean, it should be a black belt, is what it should be. Like all of them, they had this black with the gold around it. All right, but yeah, that's enough. But I'm not going to complain about that all night, because I will. I just don't like that stupid belt. Then, okay. Here, the last two matches. It's supposed to be a U.S. title match with Rusev and Roman Reigns. And you can tell they're trying to turn Roman Reigns into a bad guy because of the way the match went. Well, actually, there was no match. Before Roman Reigns got in the ring, Rusev attacked him, and then he got outside, and they basically just beat each other up. And then Roman Reigns hits him with a chair and the ribs and everything, supposedly breaks his ribs. And then he gets pushed to the back. Rusev's up, going to walk back to the back. Then Roman Reigns comes back and spears him. And I'm like, okay, so there's not even a title match. And I'm like, so I can understand that they're trying, I think they are trying to turn Roman Reigns to a bad guy, because the whole nice guy thing, just the crowd just was not going for it. They're just like, no. So I think they're going to probably follow more of the Rock way they did it, because first he was Rocky Maivia, then he joined the Nation of Domination, became a bad guy, then he turns into a good guy, and I think that's how they're going to do it. Okay, but I was like, okay, it's not even a match. No match, no pin, no nothing. It's just, oh, Rusev can't compete. So, okay, so what? They just call the match off? Then you had the last match of the night was Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar, which, here's another thing I don't like, is that the championship match should be the last one. But I'm kind of glad they didn't, because that would have been Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. And I'm like, that would not have been a good match. So, but though that match, I was watching, I was like, okay, this is pretty good. I mean, Brock's not just doing suplexes, and Randy Orton's doing some stuff, and Randy Orton kind of looked like he coming close to beating him. And then they did this whole thing to where Brock, if I'm not sure, like I have the WWE Network, so I watch all the pay-per-views, but there's a part where Brock Lesnar pulls. I'm sitting in my computer chair and it squeaks. Sorry about that. Randy Orton's covering up, and he basically pulls his hands down and he hits him with his elbow. Actually comes across and hits him, and it looks like he really connects really good. And this is actually planned. You can tell after, but Randy Orton's cut open really bad, and there's like a pool of blood on the ring because like Brock Lesnar backs up, and then like I was thinking at first I was like, maybe that was by accident, but then he jumps forward and starts hitting him again. I was like, all right, that was planned. Either he cut himself or it was just the elbow actually cut him. I don't know. But then they did the whole thing to where Brock Lesnar keeps jumping in and hitting him, and they announced Brock Lesnar's the winner by TKO, and I'm like, TKO? It's like one of the first times I've ever heard that in WWE. So it's like they wanted Brock Lesnar to win, but they also wanted a way to suspend him for a while. Like, so basically Shane McMahon comes out and he does the F5 to him, which that's Brock's finishing move. And I was like, okay, so basically what they're doing is they need a way to keep Brock Lesnar from showing on TV, so he's suspended until probably all this stuff about him failing the drug test with UFC gets over with. So storyline wise, they have a reason for him not to be there. So yeah, so basically 2 matches in a row are non-finishes. 1 match doesn't even start between Roman Reigns and Rusev, and 2, they do the TKO to where Brock Lesnar just basically keeps hitting Randy Orton over and over and over again. In the past, if anybody had done that, that would have been like an unnecessary roughness type thing. They would have been Brock Lesnar would have been disqualified. And the thing is, he kept punching him with his fist. Like me growing up, the entire time I was growing up watching wrestling, hitting with the fist was not allowed. You could be disqualified for it, and that's how Brock Lesnar knocks him out. And I was like, so they've changed the rules in WWE, which I understand. Yes, I know this is not real, it's predetermined and all that crap, but I'm a long-time watcher and I like consistency with the rules. But, alright, holy cow. I'm going up on 17 minutes talking about wrestling on my daily vlog. I want to end here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tomorrow we'll be back without no more wrestling talk, probably until the next pay-per-view. But hope you enjoyed it.